Hi there, I'm FYA Umashi, and this is another fantastic low elo game that I will be commentating over and explaining what they do wrong and what they do right so that you, the viewer, can improve your own game. Now, I'm actually doing this cast solo. I do not have a guest host this time, so everything here is my opinion, so if you disagree with something, feel free to disagree with it. Alright. So far, we see some pretty average bans. We see Kennen, Morgana, and Shen from blue team. Those are really safe bans. All three of those champions are generally very annoying. Morgana can just sit back and farm all day. She has unlimited sustain. She basically has everything you want from a play safe. The same thing for Ryze on the other team. Morgana and Ryze kind of go hand in hand. Morgana's a better farmer. Ryze is a bit more aggressive of a champion. So they're both kind of spanning safe champions. On blue team, we see the Kennen ban. The Kennen ban is focused around Kennen's high harass and ability to escape bad situations. Also, his AoE is really annoying in team fights, so you really want to knock that out. Shen is just generally a safe ban. He's also banned in solo queue a lot because while he's annoying in lane, he's a strong laner. At the same time, he has that ultimate, which allows him to be all over the map to save people and to just put the enemy team at a really bad, in really bad situations, because he can split push all day and then still be there for the fight. We see the Udyr ban. Udyr is a very strong jungler as well as a safe top lane, so knocking him out early is pretty much a good idea if you're not going to pick him. I'm not sure if anyone on blue team plays Udyr, but if they do, it's definitely a very decent ban. And we have finished off with the Warwick ban. Warwick's in the same position as Morgana and Udyr and Shen. Well, not so much Shen, but he has that sustain that can keep him in lane forever. And it's just really annoying for teams. Plus, his ultimate is just game-changing. If you can do it well, it's just safe bans. For blue team, we see the first pick is actually Lee Sin. Lee Sin is another one of those champions that's very safe. Well, actually, he's very versatile, I should say. You can max your Q if you want to play more aggressive in lane or in jungle, and it looks like he's laning. Or you can max your W if you need unlimited sustain. Actually, at least with max W, probably has more sustain than a Udyr, maybe even as much as a Warwick. It's really strong. Plus, it gives a shield. It's pretty much top tier survivability. For purple team, we see Maokai and Soraka picked. Soraka is the safest bot lane support. Not for herself, she's pretty easy to catch, but the heals can keep her alive for a very long time, and it can keep her laner alive. Or in this case, they actually picked Ezreal. Soraka is basically going to provide him with unlimited mana, so he can just spam Q forever. And the Maokai pick is Maokai's a really strong ganker, plus he has also good sustain, so he's just basically picked so that he can do that aggressive ganking thing, gets lanes ahead. Ezreal's an aggressive bot lane. They're going for more of an aggressive team, it seems. I personally would not have picked the Ezreal against the Misfortune. Misfortune is one of the tankier AD carries. She's harder to deal with. Ezreal's more of an early burster, so you don't really want to play him against someone tanky because he doesn't, he isn't as effective. We also see that on blue team they picked up Janna. Janna is one of the most protective supports. While she doesn't provide the raw survivability of a Soraka, her knockback and her knock up and her slow and shield, it just all benefits making sure your team gets out of that fight alive or catches that person, and doesn't take much damage. With the slow and knock up, she can really kite people very effectively. In fact, she's probably one of the best kiters in the game, even though she's a support, which makes her a very valuable pick. We see that purple team picked Ahri next. Ahri is pretty much the epitome of the aggressive AP carry, I guess you could say. She wants to roam a lot. You want to be ganking lanes as much as possible, but at the same time she has that pushing power, so she can clear waves fast. She doesn't need to spend too much time in mid lane, and she's hard to counterpick, which makes her a really good pick. You can pick Kassadin or Viger or LeBlanc against her, but she can still win all those lanes. Against Kassadin, she can just push all day, he'll miss CS because he's melee, get the early harass off, get ahead. If you're against a LeBlanc, again, you just push all day. LeBlanc does not have good CSing under a turret, even though she's ranged, and once she falls behind, you can't kill her. And You can also just build an Abyssal Scepter on Ahri and get a lot of magic resist, which is generally what you do against the Vigor, since he has so much burst damage and you don't want to just build straight AP. And she can even beat a Vigor out if she's very aggressive. But that doesn't mean she always wins those matchups. It's just, you know, she has the ability to, which is what's most important. It actually looks like Lee Sin might be jungling. I was wrong. I think he's going to be trading with Vladimir, but I could be wrong though. It might be Jarvan, and they might just be confusing me. But they picked at the same time, so I'm assuming. The Jarvan pick is actually pretty interesting. We haven't seen the enemy solo top yet, so I'm thinking what Blue Team is trying to do is kind of play mind games with them. They can send either Lee Sin or Jarvan top, or they could even send Vladimir top with Lee Sin middle, actually. If that's the most effective thing they can do. And that could be, you know, they're playing mind games on the enemy solo top. We do see the Trundle pick. All of the enemies basically could be good against that. You could send the Jarvan against Trundle, you could send the Vlad against Trundle, you could send Lee Sin against Trundle. They'd all be good. The Trundle is a nice safe top lane. You probably can't kill him no matter who you pick. Vladimir would probably be the best, to be honest. That aggression can get Trundle into some CS, but Trundle is generally a safe, aggressive pick. It's a hard to lose top as Trundle, so if Udyr and Warwick are banned and Lee Sin's already taken, you can just pick Trundle as your next choice, because basically all the solo tops that also jungle are pretty damn safe picks. The exception might be Nocturne. Nocturne, you'll see him top on occasion. He's not the most popular top, but he does get played top sometimes. Nocturne has to be aggressive in lane. He has that AoE, he's going to push all day, he can't help it, it's his passive. But he does have a lot of damage, so you can actually benefit from all that aggression. You can really, you know, get stuff done. But if the enemy jungler camps you, you know, you can fall behind, so generally he's not a safe pick. Jarvan is also one of those junglers who can solo top. He is a safe pick. He doesn't have to push, he's good farming, and he's tanky, so he can get out of bad situations. His harass is really strong. He has free armor penetration, and his ult chaps people, so if you are getting a jungler gank, it's very easy to pick up kills. So Jarvan is just solid top as well. What I'm expecting to see is Purple Team is going to go with the super aggressive early game and just have top passively farm. I'm not expecting Maokai to actually gank top too much. I'm thinking that Maokai's going to want to focus his ganks on bottom middle, which would actually make an early Oracle or 2 pink wards from Soraka very effective if they want to get that early win on bot lane, which I don't actually expect to see that. That would be pretty, you know, professional play, and this isn't exactly the most professional game. But yeah, that would be a very good way to put your bot lane ahead early with the fear of the Maokai ganks, and also the fact that they have just such a you know, strong team with the Ahri and the Maokai. If they ganked bottom together, it's very frightening. Maokai will probably sit mid early though. Try and shut down either the Vladimir or the Jarvan. Again, either one can go mid. But if you put the Ahri ahead early, and Maokai can do that very effectively, then basically what you're going to see is that Ahri is just going to push mid all day, roam around, get those ganks in, and really put her team ahead, create a snowball effect, which would end up winning the game eventually. And that's the type of team that Purple has. They have that snowball effect team. Trundle and Soraka are basically safety in case it does go on too long, and then the Ezreal and the Ahri are both really aggressive early, so they're going to try and force that early victory, which Trundle and Soraka can help with because they're strong early, they just get stronger as the game goes on. And then the Maokai just kind of balances out. Maokai, I'd say, is more of a mid-game champion, so he just kind of balances the team, pulls it all together. On the other team, we do have the Lee Sin and Jarvan. Lee Sin could easily get ganked off top with that Jarvan against the Trundle. The Trundle does have flash, so it would take a few attempts, but, you know, they can do that. Or the Lee Sin can sit mid. Sometimes if you play it properly, you can really focus those counter ganks. If you can predict the enemy, like I'm trying to predict that Maokai, you could just have him, the Lee Sin, sit in mid all day, just waiting for the Maokai to gank. When the Maokai ganks, naturally Lee Sin has higher damage than Maokai. Maokai just has the CC. So you could actually get that aggression in and actually pick up the advantage for blue team and those Lee Sin ganks. And, well, if Vladimir's mid, pick up the advantage for Vladimir, naturally. But actually, Lee Sin might just want to sit bottom, because the chances are that Misfortune and Janna are actually going to pull ahead of Soraka and Ezreal early. Even though Ezreal's aggressive, as I said, Misfortune is more of a tanky AD carry. While and Janna is very protective, so it's going to be hard for Ezreal to really get in there. Meanwhile, Soraka actually isn't the strongest early game support. Her heals are rather weak those first few levels. She does have a silence, but that's it. That's not really the hardest CC in the world. And Ezreal, while he does have nice damage, he's very squishy. Lee Sin could very easily pick up some early kills by getting really aggressive on bottom. So both teams actually have really good options and really solid teams. I would say that blue team actually has the stronger team whole game, but I think that it's definitely true that purple team has the advantage early and mid. It's just blue team isn't that far behind in their early and mid. Actually, they have a better mid. They're probably pretty far behind early, but they have the better mid game, or almost as good as a mid game. But they definitely have the better late game. I mean, with a Janna, you have that ultimate protection. Vladimir's AOE damage, Jarvan more AOE, and just a lot solid CC with his ultimate and knockup. Lee Sin, again, CC, damage, sustain, tankiness, initiation, and then the Misfortune is just that AD carry with it. She also has AoE, so they have a really nice AoE comp. They do have Janna. Janna can mess up an AoE comp by popping her ultimate, knocking everybody out, so you want the Janna to try and hold her ultimate off unless people are on Misfortune. She'll have to ignore people attacking Vladimir, Lee Sin, and Jarvan, because if she wastes her ultimate on one of them, she could just be screwing them over harder. So we see the game is starting, and both teams are kind of slow. We see that, actually, purple team is... Ezreal got boots, even though he's with the Soraka. This is generally because Ezreal's a skill shot champion. Boots give you more mobility, so you can get better positioning to shoot off your Q or your W, or even your R. You know, wherever you need to be, you want to get there faster, so that you can really get those skills off in, like, you know, good time. So, you know, it works. We actually see that the Maokai has started with a regrowth pendant, and that's generally the standards on Maokai. You want to go for that early gold per 10. You don't really care so much about buying attack damage or whatever. You have the CC, that's what makes your gank so strong. He also has attack speed runes. I can see that, 0.8 attack speed, that means he has attack speed reds, that's also standard. The Odd Ones guide on solo mid basically says all of this. You could also find all of this on Doom's guide on solo mid, which actually helped influence the Odd Ones guide. We see blue might be going for the invade on Maokai just to knock out his saplings. Yeah, they're actually going to try and pull a sapling out, which is actually pretty smart. They have Misfortune. She can easily outrun it with her passive. She's super fast. Lee Sin is jungling. He started with cloth armor. If you're jungling Lee Sin, you go with cloth armor if you're going with more of a farm game, not so much counter jungling. You want to play it safe, and you pick up the boots if you're going to go for more ganking. So you can even start with Dorn's Blade or a longsword or really whatever you want. But it's just he's so versatile of a jungler. You can really start with anything. This guy just decided to go cloth armor, more of a safe route. He's probably planning to farm a bit more. He might go for the early gank because he's getting red buff, but after that he's probably just going to go for some farming, keep up and farm, and then just pick up whatever he can. Maokai didn't kill his wraiths. He skipped them because he saw that they were invading. He didn't want to waste his time. He got blue, now he's getting wolves. That's standard. A lot of Maokais actually do start at wolves now with their saplings because it's so expected that they're going to go for the race. So, you know, if the saplings are just going to get blown up, what's the point? So, anyway, we do see that Vladimir did end up going mid, and Lee Sin is going for the early gank. He picks up some damage, but he just disengages after. He got good damage off on Ari. He gave his Vladimir just a slight advantage. It's not huge. Ari's going to heal that up. But the Vladimir does get a little bit of more aggressive right now. Ari's not going to want to fight him right now. It's just good. You don't always have to pick up a kill on a gank. A lot of the time, it's not about getting the kill. It's more about putting your lane in the advantage position. If your lane isn't afraid of suddenly getting murdered by the enemy alone, then they can be a bit more aggressive. Now, he still has to fear that Maokai, who's actually getting his red right now. But, you know, while he has to fear the Maokai, at the same time, it is a Vladimir. He has his pool, he can play aggressively, and he knows that Ari's afraid of the Lee Sin now, because Lee Sin showed up so early. You know, it's just that right amount of aggression that really shows them, hey, I'm here. Don't you try anything stupid now. We do see Jarvan against Trundle. Trundle's actually probably going to lose early. Jarvan has really good harass. But after level 6, or after Trundle buys, he'll have lifesteal. He'll be really hard to push out of lane. That's basically what Trundle does. He just becomes really difficult to stop after a minute. And as the game gets longer, he'll get tougher and tougher. Now, the real question with Trundle is, what do you build? A lot of Trundles like to go with the GP10 build, go for a later game. They don't really need the damage. But you can go for more of a Wriggles build, pick up that sustain, pick up that damage, and get really aggressive early. And you can actually win your lane early if you do the right amount of aggression. But there's always that fear of being ganked, which is the problem. He is against Lee Sin, so what if he does get ganked? If he has a Wriggles, he does have that armor, so it's not like he'll always die, but getting zoned out of your lane every 5 seconds isn't going to help you. And if you have that GP10, you're getting that farm even though you're not getting all that CS, and eventually you will get ahead anyway. So it's really a choice of get ahead now, or get ahead now and risk losing it all, or play it safe and just wait till later. We do see Lee Sin was heading top, but Trundle decides to go back, so Lee Sin is just going back to buy as well. No point ganking a lane, nobody's there. Maokai's going for a little counter jump, it looks like. I think he might be actually going bottom. Yes, we're going to see a Maokai gank bottom. He's going around the long way to avoid wards. We do see blue team has a ward here. We know where the wards are, because purple team and blue team have wards. So Maokai can easily sneak around. Janna wasted her tornado, so they're actually going to pick up the kill. No, wait, maybe yes, it looks like they're going to get the kill. Oh, there's the Janna shield. Oh, and there's the exhaust. And they're not going to pick up the kill on Misfortune. That was actually a fantastic job by Janna. Soraka actually dropped really low off of that. Very impressive. We do see Lee Sin coming in, but it looks like he snuck around Purple's ward. He actually picks up first blood on Soraka with a very clutch Q. That was very impressive. Actually, Purple Team's ward ran out. It was up here, so it probably wouldn't have seen Lee Sin sneak around anyway. It was kind of off position. So Lee Sin just played fantastically. I gotta say, we gotta owe it to that Janna though. The exhaust and the shield really just baited that enemy team into the dive, and they couldn't pick it up because the Janna just did such a good job protecting. You also saw that Janna did step in front of Misfortune as she was running. Misfortune was just slightly ahead, which meant that if Ezreal shot a skill shot, it would hit Janna instead, who had fairly high health, which meant that she was pretty safe. What I would identify as that Maokai is I would not have actually aimed for the Misfortune. We know she's tankier. She's much tankier than the Janna. The Janna would be much easier to kill. I would have gone with all my harass on the Janna, who has 200 less health, and just gotten the easier kill. Plus, Janna is a lot squishier. She has less base defenses, less base HP. It would just only be easier to pick up the kill. Now, I can understand why I went for Misfortune. She was slightly lower, but at the same time, she was, you know, slightly tankier, and we knew the Janna was protecting the Misfortune. Misfortune wasn't so interested in protecting Janna. It's a support's job to protect the AD carry. So, you know, it wasn't very good focus, I gotta say. I don't blame Maokai though. He made the quick decision. He knew what he had to do. He went for it. He had the red buff. He thought he had it. I thought he had it. So, you know, it's not like he did bad. I'm just saying that I personally would have aimed for the Janna, because I just, you know, think it'd be an easier kill. In mid lane, we do see just a standard farm fest. Nobody's really messing with mid. All we've had is that Lee Sin gank. But we do see that Ahri is pulling ahead in CS because Ahri can push really hard. And as you just saw, Vlad actually just missed that CS. Oh, and he's just kind of missing some CS for stupid reasons. It's just bad aim. So Ahri's actually pulling ahead in CS. We see bot lane. Ezreal is slightly ahead, but not too far ahead. There's a bigger creep wave here. That's just because of the gank, so that actually put his lane ahead. Now the real issue is up top. We actually have Trundle way ahead of this Jarvan right now in CS. Jarvan is spending too much of his time harassing Trundle, who he's just not going to be able to kill, unless Trundle makes a big mistake. Trundle's one of those safe picks, as I said. So what Jarvan's doing is basically missing CS and putting Trundle ahead. Now he's not missing all the CS, but you know, Trundle is at almost 70, and Jarvan's only at 42. That's almost a 30 CS advantage, and at 8.5 minutes, that's a little extreme. I would say if I was at Lee Sin, I would be focusing a little on top right now. It's still pretty early, so the chances of an enemy team going for Dragon isn't very high. Now, I'd say if they had a more aggressive jungler than Maokai, someone who actually, you know, jungled better, I would say don't gank top because, you know, they're just gonna go for the early dragon, but no, it's not going to work out that way. We do see the gank coming mid, but Ahri has her ultimate, so she's going to get out there fine. She's going to throw some harass off. When you're playing Ahri, if you have your ultimate up, you're generally safe from pretty much everything. I'd say the scariest thing is the Maokai gank, but the Maokai's not hurting him, so, you know, big deal. So, if you are getting ganked, you can generally get a nice amount of harass on the enemy team off before you need to actually run away. If you do this, this actually makes sure that they won't like dive you or anything. It's actually safer to stop for a second if you're not going to die and get that harass off so that you can pull, you know, you can get out alive and not have them keep chasing. You don't want them exhausting you and keep flying. And she had that Lee Sin Q on her, so she just wanted to make sure he wasn't going to be ballsy and go straight in. We do see actually Jarvan did cut Trundle pretty low. But Jarvan's out of mana now, so Trundle's actually just going to go pick up golems, and he's either going to go back or he's going to stick around and pick up that wave after Jarvan has to go back because Jarvan's out of mana. Jarvan's trying really hard not to push though. He's trying to freeze the lane because he knows Trundle was low. So Trundle's actually forced to go back because Jarvan isn't pushing very hard. So we actually see Lee Sin going for blue. If he was like allied with the Ahri, who actually got blue from Maokai. Oh wait, we see a teleport coming in from purple team. They're going for the dragon. I forgot Trundle had teleport, so actually even though it's a Maokai, they're going to be able to pick up this early dragon. They have all the sustain they need, 5 people there. The rest of the enemy team is top, and actually they do not have a ward on it, so actually it's a free dragon. That's going to be up in 6 minutes, so that's actually going to be up at 16:51. We do see them going on Janna now. Janna knocks him the wrong way. They're going to pick up the kill. Nope, she flashes over, but it looks like Maokai wants to dive, and nope, he's disengaging. He says, it's not worth it. We got Dragon. We got her flash. No more need to go in anymore. We're good. Lee Sin is coming down in case Maokai is still there, but we actually do see Maokai leaving, so because he threw the sapling here. So it's no big deal, so Lee Sin just goes back to farming. We see Ahri is roaming through the jungle though, looking for Lee Sin. Lee Sin is about to pass by, but nope, Ahri's still there. She's actually going to go onto this Lee Sin right before his fast stops. And she's going for the kill, and she ignites him, and she's going to get this kill, and she picks up the kill on Lee Sin by positioning herself in the jungle. I'd say that's blue team's fault for lack of wards. They have a ward here. Vladimir needs to ward here and here. That's basically mid's job. If you're playing in a competitive level, you need to ward as AP. Since these guys are a team, they need to work as a team. I'd understand not warding doesn't solo queue, because, you know, solo queue it's all about yourself. Even if you're really nice, you'll ward it, but you don't have to, because, you know, your team doesn't love you that much. We see, actually, he's going for the kill. It looks like he's going to pick it up. Yes, he's going to get it, and he picks up the kill on Ahri. Very good aggression by Vladimir, but he gets picked up by Maokai. Maokai is going for him. He does not have his pool yet. It's not up for a good amount of time. but he does have his Q. It looks like Maokai might pick up this kill. We see the Ezreal ult miss. Lee Sin shows up. They're actually going to force Maokai out. No, Maokai is going to die to Lee Sin. That was actually very nice damage coming out of Lee Sin. The Vladimir didn't actually do that much. Maokai had a good half health when Lee Sin showed up, and Lee Sin just bursted him down, no problem. That was really all Lee Sin right there. Yeah, as I said, remember how Trundle is going to just play it safe, and he's going to get ahead from that. Yep, we see him pulling ahead now. He's out CS'd the Jarvan, and Jarvan spent so much time trying to harass him early that he just put himself behind because Trundle wasn't dumb enough to die. And the Trundle takes the lead at top lane. He's going to be able to really pressure this turret and force Jarvan to miss a lot more CS. So they're definitely taking the lead top, even though blue team is taking the lead everywhere else. I'd say, yeah, while the Ahri is slightly out-CSing Vlad, it's, you know, it's not too bad. It's definitely true that purple team is winning in CS. Plus they got that dragon, so they are ahead in gold by 1,000 gold. But at the same time, blue team is getting that kill advantage, which also means a slight level advantage. Now, it's not too major, so it's not like purple team's out of the game because they're behind half a level. But it is something, and blue team's definitely going to need it if they're going to win this game, because they are behind 1.2k gold at 14 minutes, which honestly, being behind even 100 gold is an advantage for purple team. So any advantage they can get back is what they need right now. You see that actually Jarvan's trying to be aggressive, but Trundle is not afraid. Jarvan's pulling off good damage, but Trundle actually pops his ultimate. Trundle's ultimate really cuts down on enemy defenses, so Jarvan knows that and he backs off for a second. But we see that Trundle is really low on mana, and Jarvan's aware of this. Jarvan wants to be aggressive on the Trundle because he knows that he can win because he has the mana to do it. So he's actually going to try and pull off a kill here. He's being very aggressive. I don't think he thinks he's going to get the kill here, but he's definitely going to go and try and get some harass off. He is going to ult the Trundle. Trundle's going to flash through. Trundle is going to live. Actually, Maokai is coming top. It looks like Jarvan was not aware of that. Does he have a ward? The ward is actually out of position, but he is going to live through a clutch dash over the wall. We actually did see Soraka pick up a kill bottom on Janna. Soraka getting a kill isn't too major. It's a support getting a kill. Could be worse, but that is really bad for blue team because they're already behind in gold. As you see, that 1k lead has actually turned into a 2k lead in just a matter of like a minute. So we see that purple team is just pulling way ahead really fast, and blue team really needs to stop this. We see that Lee Sin is going on for aggression top bottom, but they have exhaust, so they're actually going to force him to back off. Ezreal's getting very aggressive. He's using everything he has. He's actually probably going to be able to force Misfortune out of lane. Does he have his ultimate? No, he does not have his ultimate, so he cannot pick up the kill, but he's still going to keep harassing. He's going to push really hard right now. He's going to make sure that Misfortune loses CS if she decides to back. That's the only way you want to do. If you know your enemy's backing, push really hard, force them to miss CS. That's your goal. And it's going to give Ezreal a huge lead in CS. He's already 20 ahead, and that's 6 more that Misfortune isn't going to get. So, he's doing a great job. Plus at top, they already have the 30 CS advantage. And then, again, at mid, another 30 CS advantage. So they're actually winning CS in every lane. The only CS one that's ahead is Lee Sin. But, you know, oh, we actually see the ultimate. We see the Ahri diving. She's going to get the kill. She picks up the kill. She's going to take some damage from the turret, but she's going to be fine. She's actually going to go for the kill on Lee Sin, and it looks like she might get it. Oh, yes, she gets it. So that's 2 kills from Ahri from fantastic play. Lee Sin underestimated her damage, but she rushed 3 Doran's Blades and a needlessly large rod. That alone is 125 AP, so she gets another 39 from her runes and masteries, and she just pulled off amazing damage. That's what Ahri does. She has a ton of burst damage. You can't really deal with it. We do see that Dragon is up. We know that 2 enemies are actually dead, both Vladimir and Lee Sin. So purple team knows that they can just pick this up for free even though Trundle's not there, and Ezreal can just keep farming bottom. In fact, he's going to want to head up now because we know that Janna and Misfortune know. So he's going to head on up there to help them. He's going to actually go try and zone the enemy. Nope, he's actually going to keep farming. He knows his team has it. He knows that they have Smite, so they picked it up. Misfortune ults a little late. Doesn't do anything. Trundle still pulling off his advantage at top. He took that lead. He picked up some armor, a Frozen Heart actually. Actually not Frozen Heart, Glacial Shroud, sorry. Glacial Shroud's fantastic buy. It's good on basically anyone. I wouldn't generally buy it on Trundle just because, you know, I think it's better on champions who use a lot of mana. I don't think Trundle's the most mana-intensive champion. But that doesn't make it a bad buy. The CDR and the armor go together hand in hand. It makes him good at being very aggressive. He can use it to spam his ultimate more, really chomp down on the Jarvan. And actually, it's pretty clever considering we noticed that one of the problems was Trundle would be out of mana when the Jarvan would engage on him. So with the purchase, he's actually forcing the Jarvan to always be behind him in mana. So Trundle can actually take the lead easily. We're actually giving Vladimir blue now. He needs it for the CDR. It doesn't help him besides CDR, but that CDR is pretty good. We see Lee Sin is going for the gank on top, and Vlad was coming, but he turned around. Jarvan can't really help here. There's not much Jarvan can do. He'll die. I think this Trundle's just going to go for the 1v2, and I think he's going to be able to do it, to be honest. I don't think the enemy team can stop him. Maybe, oh, we see the exhaust, actually. The exhaust could be the game changer here. Trundle's actually going down because of Ignite Exhaust. Very good bait by the Lee Sin Jarvan combo, actually. I did not see that coming. I thought that they were going for the 2v1 because, you know, they had that advantage. And I thought Trundle was really aware that he was really strong and he had the armor that they didn't have. But they knew what they were doing from the beginning. They knew that he did not have what it took to handle the summoner spells. So they just waited until he really engaged, made sure he couldn't flash away or whatever else he was going to do, and then they went in for it. They just went in for the kill. They got it. There's nothing Trundle could do, and very, very well played by Blue Team. We do see Maokai gave Ahri blue buff again. He's been doing that ever since 7 minutes. Ahri's very strong with blue buff. Maokai is a jungler who could use the second blue, so, you know, it's no big deal that he's given away, but it is nice to have on the jungler sometimes. But Ahri is just doing such a fantastic job that, you know, it's not really worth it to not give it away to her since she's doing just a better job than he is, at least. He's 0-1-0, she's 4-1-1. Why not give it to the person getting fed? Now, we do see 2 wards at race, actually, from both teams on the same side. This is what happens when a team becomes, I can't think of the word, you know, repetitive. That every single gank mid from this Lee Sin has actually been from the bottom half that I've seen so far. I may have missed one, but all I've seen is from the bottom half. So this ward right here is basically protecting her for 2 sides. Lee Sin hasn't spent much time over here, but we also we see Maokai ganks over here, wards over here as well. So that's actually complete safety for mid lane. We're actually seeing some nice engaged top. The Ahri's doing what she does best. She's just diving around, but she ends up falling to the Vladimir anyway. Vladimir has lots of burst damage. Maokai is trying to stay alive, but he's going to fall because he just doesn't have the sustain he needs. They're not going to keep going for the Trundle. The Trundle has a Frozen Heart now. That's a lot of armor. That's a lot of CDR. Trundle would be really hard to take down. It's just not worth the chase. They already got the 2-for-1, so, you know, why go for the 3rd kill? Why not just take what they already got? We do see bottom took down the turret. They're going to keep going. Misfortune is low. They're going for that aggression, as I said they would. Ezreal's being very, very aggressive. He's pulling really far ahead in CS especially. But we see Lee Sin is ganking bottom. They're going for the kill. We see the exhaust. He's saving his kick. He hits the kick. He's going, but nope, the Ezreal does too much damage. The Ezreal might actually pick up the kill. Does he have his ult? No, he does not have his ult. He's not going to pick up the kill. But there's just too much healing from Soraka, so they pick up the kill on Janna anyway. He ends with full health just because He has so much sustain from that Soraka. He rushed an Infinity Edge, so his damage is just ridiculously high right now. It's way higher than Misfortune, who actually doesn't even have anyone near. She actually needs another 1,000 gold at the least to buy an Infinity Edge, so she's way behind him right now. He's going super aggressive. He just bursted her down, no problem. That Ezreal is going to scale really hard. We do see he went with an Infinity Edge build. He did this because he's with a Soraka. You see a lot of Ezreals will go with more of a Triforce build generally in solo queue, because Triforce is very good for very early aggression. It gives you survivability, slows, everything you need. It's safer, I'd say. But the problem with it is it doesn't provide as much damage after a little while. So, you know, it's just not quite on the same level of strength as an Infinity Edge. So, if you're going with like a Soraka, and you can be more aggressive, that Infinity Edge can actually be better. You know, sometimes it's just as good earlier game. Other times, it's actually much stronger. It depends whether you're being aggressive or you're actually having to fight for your, life. Where they're actually stealing red, they're taking advantage of the enemy jungle. They have almost a 10k gold advantage. They have a really nice lead right now. The Ezreal's actually just going god mode on the enemy team. There's just nothing they can do about him. He's gonna be carrying this game, no problem. We do know Dragon's up. It looks like they're gonna pick up the Dragon kill as well. Ezreal can murder it in just a few hits. Part of the reason Ezreal's so far ahead is because he hasn't really done much for objectives besides that first Dragon. He's just been focusing on farming all game. He doesn't even go back very often. He's just doing what he does best. He's being that aggressive early game AD carry who you can't really stop. He's still going for it. He forces the Janna flash. There's just nothing they can do about him right now. Oh, it looks like Lee Sin got caught out of position. He did not know Ahri was behind him. There was a ward here, though, so he was actually trying to run away. But they were all here. There's just nothing he could do. He was out of position. Just a bad move. We do see that the Vladimir tried to gank top, but that Trundle's not afraid. Lots of CDR, and they're just pulling way ahead in farm. I'm not really surprised by this. Actually, the three people on the enemy team, the Ezreal, the Ahri, and the Trundle, who are really making those plays right now, are all higher elo, 1700s, and actually the Trundle's 2100, much higher elo players than the other team. So I'm not surprised by the CS difference. That's really the main difference I find between a lot of players. Some players are just really good CSers, and oftentimes they can get to higher elos even with the same mechanics as most players. You can find a 1200 elo player who team fights exactly the same as some 2k player, but the difference is that 2k player has 200 CS at 20 minutes, and the 1200 elo player has closer to 80 CS. It's just big CS difference. I see this all the time on my Smurf. Players can play just as good as anyone else in a team fight. It's just they don't have the same items, so they actually aren't quite as strong. If they had those items, they would be just as good. That's why a lot of players feel like they're in elo hell. You can be a very good player, in fact, but when it comes down to CSing, you just fall behind. So in the end, you're just not quite as good. You're not quite on the same level. So it can create issues. That's why whenever someone asks me for advice on getting better, I give them two tips. The first one is to focus on not dying. Just do whatever they can to not die. Play games like this where they focus on getting 0 deaths, no matter what the cost. Slowly, as you get better at it, you'll be able to get more aggressive while still surviving. We actually see Ahri going god mode here. There's nothing they can do about that. It's just purple team's pretty far ahead. They might pick up the kill on nope, he ghosts away, so they're not going to get the kill on Vladimir. Yeah, focus on not dying, and you'll get better at the game slowly. And the other piece of advice I think is really important is CSing. Join a custom game and play a champion that's hard to CS on. Soraka, Vladimir, whatever. Don't use any skills, and keep doing it until you can get 200 CS at 20 minutes. Now, the max possible at 20 minutes is 228. So, getting above 200 means you can miss a solid 30 CS. So it's not asking too much. Oh man, we actually see the team fight over Baron. Oh my god, it looks like everyone on blue team is actually going to go down. There's nothing blue team can do. They pick up, the purple team could pick up the Baron, but they decide to go for the kills instead. They're going to pick up the kill on Janna. Yep, no problem. They might actually go back to Baron now. Looks like they are. Yeah, that blue team is gonna lose this game at this rate, but yeah, painful. But as I was saying, yep, there's a surrender. But yeah, as I was saying, join those custom games. Get the 200 CS at 20 minutes. I'll hard to CS on champion. Don't play Corki. Corki's easy. And don't use any skills, except unless you know you can use like Vladimir's E to get 2 CS at the same time. But just try not to miss any CS. Get above that 200. Try not to use skills unless you have to. And once you can do that, you'll notice a huge mechanics advantage. I've seen this appear in many people. They 1200 players. They can't CS, they do this exercise, they start getting better at CSing in solo queue, suddenly you got yourself 1600, 1700, 1800 player, no problem, easy mechanics fix. I'd like to thank everyone for viewing this, and I hope I did a good job, and I'd love to hear your feedback, and you know, if I helped you, I'm very happy, and I hope you get better at the game, raise your elo, and that's my goal. Thanks for watching.